Hey guys, so I'm filling up the IBC tote wicking bed gardens today, mixing my soil. I thought I would give you guys my exact measurements because sometimes it's hard to figure out what you want to put in these things. So I've done a lot of research over the last 7 years. This is what I use. You obviously can tweak it, but I've got about roughly 16 cubic feet of soil going in. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. This is what it looks like when it's empty. So length by width by depth to get your cubic feet. And this is my formula for 16 cubic feet. So I use a bag and a half of peat moss, which is 4.5 cubic feet. This is basically just a filler. It has a very good wicking property, holds moisture well. So that's number one. Number two, you want to use just a basic potting mix. I always buy the cheapest potting mix I can find because it's not going to give you any fertilization hardly. It's just a filler. I'm going to use roughly 9 cubic feet of this. Make sure it's a potting mix and not a garden soil, because the potting mix is finer. It's going to wick better. The garden soil is going to have chunks of stuff in it, so it's not going to want to wick up as well. I use black cow manure. I use 3 cubic feet, which is 3 bags. Once again, not really great fertilization here. It's just a filler, but it does have a sand base, so it does help with drainage, which is good. I use 4.5 bags of perlite. That's basically for drainage. It's just the white looking styrofoam, but it really helps aerate the soil and helps with your drainage. I use bone meal, which is going to be your calcium phosphorus. I use 3 bags, which is 9 pounds for 16 cubic feet. Blood meal is going to be your nitrogen. I use a bag and a half of it, which is roughly 4.5 pounds. And that's going to be to help your, get a jump start, help your vegetables green up really well. Another calcium supplement I add is oyster shell. I use, 4.5 cups on that. Once again, it's a good calcium source. It's going to help your plants not have blossom end rot. It helps with tomatoes not having black spot. They're going to need a good calcium. On the lime, I use Dolomite lime. I use 3 cups. That just helps sweeten your mixture. Helps with pH, obviously. These water storing crystals, I put in 3 cups, and they do exactly what they say. They basically cling to water, just helps with keeping your wicking bed moist. Also use, I don't have pictured here, I have a bag of worm castings that I throw in, but I will admit I'm going to end up putting red wiggler worm, composting worms into a bucket, like a small tower, so I can compost inside the garden. So I'm only going to add 1 bag of worm castings. So you guys may want to look at formulas to add more if you're not going to do what I'm doing, but I'm going to have worms in there, which will help with with nutrients to the soil. On the Epsom salt, it's basically magnesium. Also helps a little bit with pest control. I use 3 cups of that. And then the last thing I use is borax, which actually we're using that for the boron. It just kind of, stimulates, kind of kickstarts the whole mixture. I use 1 tablespoon of that. Don't overdo that because it can be detrimental to your plants, but it's also a good pest control. So that's what I do. This is what it looks like when it's filled, and this is what it looks like when it starts. So roughly 16 cubic feet is what I'm filling. So you can kind of vary your formula or look at that, see what you need to do.